One thing I've heard throughout my entire life is too cool for school. Not necessarily to me in particular, but just in general in the culture around me. It's something that it just like it just pops up in conversation, in movies, in whatever. And yet it's something that prevailed much of the 90s or 80s, 90s, or early 2000s and the 2010s. But yet I feel like that just isn't the same as it would, like it just doesn't mean the same today. Obviously the saying just means you're too cool to care, particularly about school, but just in general, that you are kind of not, you're just nonchalant and you don't really care. It's something that's changing and something that I've been thinking about for the past couple months, really. And just in general, from starting picking back reading up again, to seeing a lot of the discourse around the Odyssey adaptation that Christopher Nolan is making, to Timothy Chalamet at the SAG Awards and what he had to say. And it really, really stood out to me, and it really was like, this will be Gen Z over the next 5 years. And what he said was this: I can't downplay the significance of this award because it means the most to me, and I know we are in a subjective business, but the truth is, I'm in pursuit of greatness. I know people don't usually talk like that, but I want to be one of the greats. I am inspired by the greats. And I 100% agree with Timothy right there. I want to be someone who is in pursuit of greatness because I am inspired by the greats. And I think many people in Gen Z really need to hear that right now and really also need to put that into practice. Um, People often talk about Gen Z being people who want and crave realness. And we don't like being lied to. We don't like. We want people to be real with us. We've grown up on the internet and we've seen the lies and we've seen the ability for people to manipulate and control other people, and we want that to change. And we also live in a culture that really despises creating. Maybe not, that no executive or like at Disney will say we hate creating. No, but what they're creating is nostalgia, and they're not creating, they're just remaking. We, as of recording, the Snow White movie just released at the box office, and it's not doing that great. It looks, to me, without anything to do with Rachel Zegler, or I'm sorry if I mispronounced her name, but it just does not look appealing. And none of the remakes do. And I'm I, like many of my generation, are tired of the remakes. We want to see something new. We are tired of the sequels, and we want to see something new. Even if it's in a franchise. I know a lot of people who are excited for the Fantastic Four, even though it's a Marvel franchise, just because it's something different from Marvel. And that's just something that it is because we're too cool to care. As a culture growing up, we did not care to be great and to care about creating great art and great media. I think a lot of that is changing now, but it's just something that, like, it really is something that has been needing to be said for a while. And over the past couple months, I've been wanting and am continuing to want to grow as a human being. And it's something that phrase, growing as a human being, is something that I don't see a lot in our culture today, at least in the mainstream. And I think that, alongside what Timothy Chalamet said, is what will change Gen Z within the next couple of decades. The desire to, one, be great, and two, to want to grow as human beings. I know this is very different than the content that I've made before, and it's something that I've been wanting to change in my content. My old content was fueled by just a desire to buy and collect and have this amazing collection and show off what I've been collecting. And it was easy to make. It was expensive to make, not necessarily to produce, but to buy. And I still love reading manga, and I still love reading comics, but I'm also wanting to read more literature, read more poetry, and to experience life and listen to music, not just through Spotify, but through CDs and vinyls and real things, tangible things. No offense to people who listen to audiobooks, but that's just not the same as picking up and reading. This is a collection of the poetry of Robert Frost, and this was given to me by my grandparents that they bought at some point, and it was printed in the 80s. But this book is so much heavier. Just opening up, the pages are nice and thick, and even though it's gilded, there was a lot of care put into making this book that if I went to Barnes & Noble and picked up a hardcover, it just would not be the same. Even if the content inside of it is the same, it's cheaper. It won't last as much as this. And I don't want it to exist in a culture that doesn't last. The poetry of Robert Frost has lasted for 200 years. I want to make something that lasts just as long, if not longer, than Robert Frost. And I can't say that about many movies or TV or music that is being made right now or 5 years ago, maybe even 15 years ago. And for all that to say, I want to encourage anyone who's listening to this video to create. Don't open ChatGPT or Grok, if you even want to use Grok, but pick up a pen, a pencil. Don't use Google Docs. Don't use Microsoft Word. Pen and paper. When you're sitting in the middle of the night and you just can't sleep, tell me about it. Write it down. Make something beautiful. Make something that will live past you. We live in a society that's just living day to day, paycheck to paycheck, but our words, our images, our art will last if you care about it. And that's why I just want to say it's okay to care. Even if it feels weird at first, it is okay to care and to want to care and to be inspired by the greats who came before us and to build on their legacy. All that to say, please like, comment, and subscribe if you really want to. And I will see you guys in the near future. Ciao.